like really affected by hooking it. You'll see this position at impact a lot with the head, and the problem is the spine's totally connected. So you go from sacrum to lumbar to thorax to cervical. So what happens is that the guys who hook it typically understand because I'm swinging this way doesn't mean the ball's going to start there. Like that's one of the biggest problems in instruction is that people think the path is what's determining the start line. So if I close the face in here and swing way out to the right, you can see that ball never even started right of that bullseye, but I probably swung out like 10 degrees there. So what happens is it's really easy for me if I try to keep my head down and my eyes looking this way through the shot, I can swing into out almost every time because I slow down the pivot. So if my spine is here and this spine's connected, I lose the ability to keep turning through here. I get too much into out. Typically I get rapid closure of the toe at impact. So David Duval had a wicked strong grip, like very strong, like probably one of the strongest grips on tour. And his profile was like a bit of a push cut, maybe even like a pull cut as well. Not with the driver, but with the irons. So understand if you're gripping it like that and you get into what would be, say, an ideal impact position, you can see that the face, I start there, impact, you can see where the face is pointed way out to the left. So what Duval did is he just pivoted so much with his body. That's the only thing that's really changed. I mean, the first thing they did was change his grip when he came back, and that was pretty much game over. I've done that before, and that people were never the same. So by being here, if he was a guy who was like that, he would be done. So what happens is he helped his pivot speed with his body because as soon as his eyes are going this way, he's going to turn so much more. And because he had a strong grip and he was so shut, you know, people said, well, he's shut, you know, he hooks it. He had to pull cut with his irons. If the face is pointed to the left, the ball will start to the left. A pull cut starts to the left. His club face is open to his path, but it's closed to his target line. So he would come in, and the face would be, I have him on video where he's like that, and then he's like that. So basically when he comes into impact, if his face is, his club face is pointing there, his path is more to the left. You know, and the guys who hit pull cuts, they hit it solid too, because you know they're actually closing and slightly de-lofting it. So the theory that a cut with an iron goes shorter than a draw is completely not right. You know, probably not. I don't see how they could be from the videos that I have. I mean, probably in, you know, probably in a peripheral aspect, but the ball is just in his short-term memory anyways. So that's why I don't like to see players get over it and go, because this actually becomes the intended target now. Like Nicklaus, they say he stood over the ball for a long time, but he was constantly shuffling. He was always looked back down, back up, back down, back up, and never the same amount of times. But, you know, if you look at him on video, he's like this, so it'd be even difficult to see it in the periphery, but the ball's in the short-term memory, right? Yeah, a little different. I would say like Johnny Miller, too, was the same way. Johnny Miller, he probably dropped almost as much as Hogan, even though he talks about like players that they drop, that's why they hit a bad shot. The only people who don't drop hit it 200 yards in the air. Yeah, you have to load the ground. You have to kind of start, the tsunami comes from an earthquake. That dropping is the earthquake. Now, you can drop too much, but most people who drop too much, they just start too tall, and they know they can't fire from there, so as they get to the top, they start loading. But like even on Tiger, when I have him on video, he drops, but on the AMM suit that I put on him, if that access point at the top of the C-spine's right there, where he starts and where he is at impact is a millimeter different. A millimeter. So even though he's moved down 5 inches, at impact is a millimeter different. So it's, you know, that's why you don't guess what you can measure. That's why you have to measure. Otherwise you assume and then you make an ass out of you.